Is your calendar running you? You're constantly running from one task to another. You're juggling multiple things. You're not sure how you're keeping all of those balls up in the air, and there just never feels like enough time to get it all done. Even though you're probably accomplishing a lot in the day, you go to bed feeling like you haven't accomplished anything. If this is you, chances are you are not prioritizing self-care. And even as I say self-care, you might be thinking, well, that's a luxury. I don't have time for that. I'm running a business. I have a life. The truth is, if you keep going at the pace that you're going at, chances are it's going to lead to burnout. I'm Stacey Berger, transformational coach in life and business, supporting entrepreneurs in accelerating their results and creating full spectrum success. I know so many people who the only time they rest and they stop is when their bodies force them to. And so they're in bed for a few days and unintentionally they stop and they rest. There is a better way to stop and rest before your body shuts down. If you can be in bed for 3 days because you're sick, you can take 3 days intentionally to rest, relax, rejuvenate. Self-care is not a luxury. Self-care is actually a business strategy. So think about what's on your to-do list, your busyness. Is that pace sustainable? If you keep going at the same pace you're going at, where is that going to lead? And if you don't like the path that that's headed towards, it's time to reframe what self-care is. And let me just say, self-care is different for everybody. We tend to have this image of self-care being a bubble bath or a glass of wine, or I've got to go for a massage or a girls' weekend. Self-care isn't necessarily any of those things. For some people, it might be. But self-care is simply reprioritizing your time and recognizing that when you invest in yourself, when you take time away from your business, from your responsibilities, it actually helps you to be more creative, to think differently, to unlock new ideas within you. That rest, that rejuvenation needs to be a priority if you're going to create the types of results that you want. So as you're thinking about what would self-care look like for you, this might be a hobby that you get lost in. Maybe you love playing music. Maybe it's knitting. Maybe it's photography. Maybe it's painting. What are some things that you enjoy doing? Is it swimming? Is it taking classes? Is it time with friends and family? Those things that you probably think you don't have time for are the things that need to be on your schedule. So how do you schedule those when you're saying, Stacey, I get it, this is important, but I'm too busy, I don't have time for it? The first place we start with is the mindset. And the mindset is, I make time for things that are important to me. If your best friend called you and urgently needed you right now, chances are you would drop everything and you would make the time for them. You want to prioritize yourself in the same way. When you recognize that you are the most important thing in your life and your self-care is the most important thing, then all of a sudden we reprioritize it. So I make time for things that are important to me, and self-care is important to me because it's how I'm going to achieve my goals. That mindset shift is really important. And then strategically go into your calendar and start to block off time slots. This can be 5 minutes, this can be 10 minutes, this might be a full afternoon or a full day or a weekend. Start making some advanced decisions around your calendar where you're starting to tell your calendar what you're doing and your calendar's not running you. Is it 15 minutes for a quick nature walk? Is it 5 minutes of stretching? Is it an afternoon off where you're going to go for coffee with friends or you are going to book that massage? Start making some advanced decisions and block the time in your calendar. And when that time slot comes in your calendar, when it's time to make that appointment with yourself, you have a choice in that moment. If you're not careful, the temptation can be, I'm too busy for that. I'll do it another time, and not to go for that walk, not to go for that massage, not to go for that coffee. Be so careful in those moments, because if you stay in those same patterns, chances are it's going to lead to burnout. Chances are you're going to have some health challenges or regrets. So in those moments when you hit that calendar appointment, keep the appointment. Make it a habit of saying yes to you, yes to your self-care. Even if that's sitting on the couch for 15 minutes or watching movies for an afternoon. And when you're doing whatever that thing is for you, be fully present. It's okay to sit on the couch and watch a movie, but make sure you're not on the couch watching a movie thinking about work, feeling guilty, thinking about what you should be doing. We want to get more practiced at being fully present in that rest, rejuvenation, relaxing time, recognizing that it's just as important as the other action items on your calendar. So if you're the person who your calendar's been running you, you're juggling lots of different things, you're on the verge of burnout, it's time to pause, reinvest in yourself, your self-care as a strategy to achieve your goals and your dreams. To really help you practice self-care, I've got a free daily journaling practice that I invite you into, and it's really just taking about 7 minutes every day, prioritizing yourself, gratitude, your visions inside of this morning practice. It's a powerful way to start the habit of self-care. I'm Stacey Berger. Here is to you living a life that you love.